Hello, my name's Don Ayres and I'm the Technical Manager for PASMA. That's the Prefabricated Access, Suppliers and Manufacturers Association. PASMA is the UK body for mobile access towers and the recognised provider for training and verification of competence for this type of work equipment. The PASMA training syllabus is delivered by more than 400 training centres across the UK. And as a founder member of the Access Industry Forum, we deliver information and best practice for mobile towers supported through research in conjunction with bodies such as the HSE and HSL and product standards through our work with BSI. Mobile towers, which conform to EN 1004, the European standard for mobile towers, have platform heights from 2.5 metres to 8 metres for external use and 2.5 metres to 12 metres for internal use. Mobile towers and podium-type products with platform heights below 2.5 metres are outside of the scope of EN 1004. Mobile towers less than 2.5 metres are defined as room scaffolds and are specified in BS 1139 Part 6. Podium-type products, working platforms less than 2.5 metres in height, fitted with guardrails and intended for use by one person, are specified in a new standard, PAS 250, to be published early in 2012. Room scaffolds are sometimes referred to as folding towers because they often have a base section which has two end frames joined together by a folding side frame. They have a larger platform than podiums and are often suitable for use by two persons working on the platform. They generally have a greater, safer working load than a podium because of the greater dimensions of the platform, and they have guardrails which provide full protection. One of the questions we're often asked is how do you get onto a platform of a room scaffold when it is set down low? Well, you don't need to go underneath to go up through the trap. Sit on the platform, fit the guardrails in front of you, and then swing your legs up and stand up. It's as easy as that. Getting off is simply the reverse. Sit down on the platform with your legs under the guardrails, remove the guardrails in front of you, and then stand up. Remember, never climb up the outside of a mobile tower even if it's at low level, and always fit the stabilisers if specified in the manufacturer's instructions for that height of tower, even though it is at low level. Podium type products are sometimes referred to as podium steps, pulpit steps, or folding step platforms. They're intended for one person and consequently they often have a lower safe working load than a room scaffold. They have guardrails to prevent you falling, and this is especially important if you're carrying out longer duration tasks using both hands, and if they have a gate in the guardrail, always make sure that it's closed before you start work. If they have wheel brakes, make sure these are locked before you climb on, and then unlock them before you try to move the podium. If they're equipped with stabilisers that need to be fitted or positioned before use, always make sure you set them up correctly following the manufacturer's instructions. If you move them, don't forget to lift the stabilisers and then make sure they are repositioned correctly before you start work again. Never stand on the platform and move the podium by pulling yourself along or getting another person to push you. They're not designed for this and they may collapse or overturn. Incidentally, the same rules apply to any mobile tower or room scaffold. Remember that even though you are only working at low level, you are still required by the work at height regulations to carry out a risk assessment. Always read the instruction labels and manufacturer's guidance for your product. Never use any damaged equipment. Carry out a pre-use inspection before you start work. Never overreach. If you cannot reach the work you're doing, come down, move the work platform closer, and then begin again. Stay clear of power lines or electrical equipment. And never use work platforms on slopes unless they're provided with some form of levelling device such as adjustable legs. Do not use them on loose, slippery, sloping or uneven ground. And never stand on the guardrails or use boxes or step ladders or any other objects to gain extra height. Never have more than one person at a time on a podium type step. And never move a work platform when a person is standing on it. Never stand on the access ladder to work. Always stand on the platform. Podium steps and room scaffolds are not intended as a means of access to another place. PASMA have a range of training courses, including one for low-level access. Remember, just because it's low level, that doesn't mean you don't need to be able to prove your competence. Competence to work at height, even low level, is a requirement of the work at height regulations. If you have passed your PASMA Towers for Users course, then be aware that this does not confirm your competence to work at low level, below 2.5 metres. The low level access course specifically addresses all the issues for work at low level. So when you're carrying out a risk assessment, what are some of the things that you should consider? Well, firstly, the height of the task. Is it heavy or light work? Is it high or low risk? And consider that even though you're working at low level. How long will the task take? Is it more or less than 30 minutes? Are one or more persons required? Do you have access to the location? You may have to go through doorways, lifts, stairs, hatches. And consider the conditions of the site. Is it indoors, outdoors, flat, solid, level ground? Consider all the other risks that may happen to others. And consider at every location where there is going to be a task. Take an action if necessary. Ensure that low-level access equipment is suitable for the task you're about to undertake. Just like any other item of work at height equipment, you still need to carry out detailed inspections, including room scaffolds and podium steps. These detailed inspections are in addition to the pre-use inspections that you must carry out before you start work. And in accordance with the work at height regulations, they must be carried out by a competent person and they must be properly recorded. Pre-use inspections are carried out by a competent operative to ensure the equipment is ready for use now. Is it all there? Are they the correct parts? Is it fit for use and undamaged? Are all the parts working? And does it all fit together properly? Is everything secure? And is it assembled in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions? One specific requirement for low-level access units is to ensure that any caster wheels are secure, and there is a technical guidance note available on the PASMA website which tells you how to carry out the required checks and also how to tighten the casters if required. One question we're often asked is, should you fit toe boards to low-level access platforms? The answer, as is often the case, is that it depends on your risk assessment. Toe boards provide edge protection and they prevent tools or materials falling from the platform. Depending on the task you're carrying out, the tools and materials that you're using, the height of the platform, and the environment that you're working in, you'll need to determine if there are risks which require toe boards to be fitted. Plan ahead for your work and remember to consider others. Think about the risks in the area where you'll be working and, if necessary, cordon off your work area. Look after your access equipment. Transport it carefully and store it carefully. So in summary, remember these 10 key things when working at low level. Carry out your risk assessment. Select the right equipment. Make sure you're trained. Read the instructions. Set them up correctly and safely. Carry out pre-use and detailed inspections. Work safely. Move safely. Ensure the safety of others. And transport and store them properly. There's a PASMA DVD which tells you all the key points for working at low level, but remember, this is no substitute for training. Even at low level, accidents can happen, but make sure they don't happen to you. I hope this information has been useful, but if you have any more questions regarding low level access, then please do not hesitate to contact PASMA. Thank you.